everybody. Welcome to Conversations Overheard. You know it's Tuesday, so you know what time it is.
Hey, hey, hey. Let's scoot in here.
So,
a little closer, Gary.
Thanks for joining us. You know, if you missed our live event, you missed a good time. But we have, Janae and I have this thing on social media called House of Bones. And we talked to one of our guests after the event. Phil, thank you again for a great interview. And he mentioned the guy code and things that he wouldn't do because of, his code of ethics when it comes to dating. So we were just wondering, about girl code, guy code.
Well, he also mentioned that the women didn't observe the guy code. So with that being said,
yeah,
what camera?
This will fix it.
Hang on 1 second.
Watch out to your left too. We also, so with that being said, the guys have a guy code. In his experience, as of recent, married women haven't been observing that guy code. So we want to talk to you about it today. At 50 plus years old, is guy code, is girl code, is it relevant? Is it relevant in dating at this age?
Or did it play out with the spank?
I'm like, spank?
The dance.
The dance.
Yeah.
Not the garments.
Those are spanks.
I'm like, they're in.
Those are spanks.
Okay, I knew it was something like that.
So do you guys, subscribe to a code of ethics when you're dating or when you're considering someone for dating?
Well, I think that everybody, even when the spank was the dance, I think everybody had a bum in their life that didn't observe the girl code or the guy code. A frenemy, perhaps. But overall, I don't think much has changed about the girl code and the guy code. The code exists. Much hasn't changed about the code. How many people observe it is a whole nother entity. And I feel like there's a lot more lonelier people today.
Yeah.
And I think the pickings are few because of, as Gary would like to say, the numbers game. There's less men out there and more women for a multitude of reasons. But I think Phil is right. I feel like women don't observe that code like we would think or hope that they would. At least I would think or hope that they would.
Personally, the rules are necessary, honestly. And if I'm honest, then I've broken the guy code at different times.
You?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, I did.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure.
I regret that unfortunate period of my life. But
Oh my gosh.
my point is that as we get older, it's more important to have rules. Mm-hmm. But just as we've grown, I think the rules need to grow. Because, someone that, one of the guy code things is that you can't come behind your friend. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to. But I think that, if something happened 20 years ago, then maybe that's a conversation that I can have with my friend. Like, dude, how do you feel?
So as long as there's people in between coming behind him, it's not like right after him.
Right. She can't leave his house and I pick her up. No, no. There's a situation where, she was his prom date. Mm-hmm. But I still can't do it. And then I'm going to have a conversation with him to see how this goes. Before I do anything, I need to,
So it needs to be some years, some time needs to have passed.
Definitely.
So let me ask you this, but are you dating to get into a relationship, or are you dating, or is it just for a good time? Because I think that matters too.
At this stage of the game, I'm not trying to cross off any list. So if I'm dating, it's for a purpose. It's not, to go out a few times or to see what I can get out of it. It has to have a purpose. I just don't have that time to waste.
And you would be comfortable knowing that the person that you were involved with was with somebody that you know well, even if it was a while ago?
If we had that conversation.
Okay.
What I'm not gonna do is to be like, okay, man, I got something to tell you. This is wild. No, man, I'm thinking about it. Man, she's pretty cool. I haven't. What are your thoughts?
Let me qualify something real quickly. Gary, you know a lot of people. Like, you know a lot of people. Both men and women. How do you separate Kim's verbiage? No will. Is it someone who's close to you, who you look like, this is my brother from another mother kind of situation? Or is this just, my homeboy from high school? Or is it somebody we went to college with? Or is it truly somebody like
An acquaintance or a
yeah,
friend?
that when do you say I owe this person a conversation? Or when do you say, one man's trash is another man's treasure? When is it valid for you to have that conversation to observe guy code? And so someone doesn't feel like, oh man, he just took his old girl and, your name is out in the street like mud.
At this stage of the game, I mean, it's a very low threshold. If I had that dude's phone number, then that means that we have some context beyond just, I saw you at the gym or where we used to work together 15 years ago. If I have your number, that's a call.
If you have his number, meaning that you've dialed it before?
Yes.
Because you've got numbers in your phone that you've never dialed before.
I mean, I don't know that I want to go to that high of a stipulation. The threshold for me is, do I have your number?
Okay. I know I got people's numbers. I don't even know who they are.
I get that, but I'm just
but
trying
you know what he
qualify.
means, though.
Yeah.
Like if you're
basically
just
anybody and everybody who you
contactless
know,
person.
you're just going to give them the courtesy of
bruh,
letting them know this is where I am.
Let you know, yeah.
Okay.
And this is what's happening, and
I think that's super fair.
I want you to hear it from me too, because that's another thing. The movies always dramatize it where I was just about to tell you, and you don't get credit for just about. You set yourself up to win if you handle that communication piece early on.
Yeah.
This is what it is. This is what I'm thinking about doing. And the other part of that, the flip side of it, is that if that dude is like, man, she's special, or, I wouldn't really be cool with that, to walk away from it.
So this is a true story right here. I knew a guy who basically, I don't know, in a conversation, he had said something like nobody's off limits. And I was like, nobody's off limits. And of course, I'm going to take it to the extreme. So if your brother, like left this earth for whatever reason, or disappeared, or, went to the moon, never came back, abandoned his family, and you're telling me you would get with his wife, who is the mother of your nieces and nephew? You would do that?
So you would have a son.
He said yes.
And he said,
your son and your nephew.
He said, if I found happiness with that person, then yeah, I would. I said, your brother from the same mother. It was like, I heard you the first time, but yeah. And
that
I said,
a lot, though, so.
What about what your parents will feel like your mom and your dad and the rest of your family? He was just like, I'm not living for them though. And I'm like, what kind of code is this?
I have a childhood friend who told me the same thing. He's like, I don't live by a code. He said, that's some old fraternity shit right there. He said, I don't live by that. And if I see you, I like you, I'm going after it. He said, now he does have a brother, a biological brother who's on this earth. He was like, and I'm not trying to, get with any family members or any kids or anything like that. So he's not trying to do anything incestuous or illegal. But he's like, listen, if I see you and I like you, I'm going after you. I said, so when I said it like this, you have no code of ethics at all when it comes to dating. He said, well, damn, if you're going to say it like that. He said, okay, married women, I don't do married women. I said, okay, And I get that. I said, so that's your only code of ethics. Yes. Yes. And I won't go any I won't tell any more about what he said, because then I feel like I would be revealing his identity.
Well, let's not do that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there, but he has no.
Can he fight? If he can't fight, name names. Name names.
But
No.
you have to have. Everybody is, I guess, girl code and guy codes are very similar, and I think that to answer our own question, it's still relevant if you make it relevant for yourself.
Yeah.
And as a single woman, I had a person who I went to college with who played football for my school that I never met, because I just didn't really know a lot of football players, and they wear helmets, so you can't even see who the hell they are. But I didn't really know them, and he contacted me and wanted to fly me to his city. He said, "I'm gonna put you in a hotel, get to know you. He said, I'm not gonna stay there, but I just want to spend the weekend. I'm gonna get to know you, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Well, okay, nice looking guy, and he's been vetted." And then I happened to tell one of my line sisters. She was like, "You do know that I dated him in school, but since I transferred to that school, I didn't know that." Mm-hmm. And since I transferred to my second school, and when she told me that, I was like, "Oh, well, he's off the table." And she was like, "No, I'm just letting you know, I don't care." So when I told him, I was like, "You dated my line sister." He's like, "That was 35 years ago. I don't care." Because to me, I'm dating with intention. So if I'm dating to be in a relationship and to possibly grow this into something more serious, maybe marriage in a few years, I don't want to know that you was fucking around with my line sister. I don't care if it was 35 years ago. And though he was like, "Wow, that was literally 3 decades ago," and she was like, "I don't care," but she and I are too close. We're like sisters.
Okay, all right, so you said two things that are teensy-weensy bit contradictory.
Okay.
So you said, absolutely no, I don't care. Like, I don't want to know that you've done this and that, And then you said, she and I are just too close. So is it like absolutely no to all friends? Or is it just because that she's too close? Where's your line? Because it sounded like there was no line, because every line is a line. And then it sounded like there was a line because of her.
I don't want to get into a relationship. I don't want to embark upon a relationship with anyone knowing that somebody that I'm really close to, they've seen each other naked. They've had sex several times. So,
really close to. What does that mean?
We don't know what really close to means?
It's relative, babe. That's why I asked him the same question.
That's why I said, for me.
But I'm asking you to tell me what is really close.
My sorority sister, a person that I talk to every day, a person that who is like a sister to me. I said that. She's like a sister to me. So if I can say that about someone, then that means that is a relationship that's a bond that you're going to be in my life for a long time. I don't know how
you're permanent.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know how else to explain that.
So this is not someone that you just
she's not an acquaintance.
Worked with. This is not somebody that you...
I said she's my line sister, I'm just
clarifying.
So, yeah, that is if you are really, if you are in my life, this is my code. If you are for dating, I would not want to intentionally date anybody whose degree of separation is probably 1 or 0. Because we're so close.
Okay.
And so that's is that clear?
That's better for me.
Yeah, yeah. And conversely, another code that I have is if you see my significant other fucking around, then you should tell me. And so when I was talking to another friend, they said, and I was asking them what their code is, that was one of the first things out of her mouth. If you see somebody doing me harm, tell me, because you and I are close enough that I would want to know.
I ain't never telling no more.
That has happened to you and you got in trouble?
And we had the conversation, and man, if you see, man, you know, if you don't beat them down, I'll beat you there. Man, no, I'm not saying nothing. It's not my business. I'm not going to her and telling her, man, you a little sloppy. I'm not going to him like, man, you need to fix that.
Right.
I'm not
that's
in
your
that
code.
mess.
Yeah.
And I would even remove myself from a situation where I saw some mess. I'm not doing it.
Right.
So I don't want to get too far off, but I'm going to just jump into this new segue.
Okay, I'm sorry for...
No, it wasn't Jules Kill, but I'm going to jump on the train. That happened. And I saw something, and in my mind, they were married though. In my mind, I'm like, I'm going to handle this. Like, I'm going to handle it right now. And that's what I did. Mm-hmm. I walked up to the situation and I said, I don't know what this is, but the optics look fucked up. And you need to fix it, and you need to fix it right now. And if I ever see it again, hear of it, smell it, think it, I'm telling. I'm going to tell. And his eyes was like, So
just out of curiosity, did you become the bad person?
Were you shocked?
I did not.
Shot? Okay.
He pulled me aside and just said, I know it didn't look good. It's not what I was like, I don't care. I'm not interested in any of that. I didn't ask you to qualify what it was. I'm telling you what I saw, and I'm telling you that it didn't look good, and I'm telling you that I feel a certain kind of way. In my body, I feel a way. So you fix it, or I'm going to tell. And she never mentioned anything of the like, and I never saw anything of the like again, and that was that. Okay. They're divorced now, but nonetheless.
Did you ever tell her?
No.
I'm just not getting involved in it. I've had this conversation.
You ain't gonna kill the messenger with me. No, right. Thank you.
It's not my business.
Let me
I hope
stay
y'all
alive.
work it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to God about it, and we're gonna keep it moving. I don't have time for that. I don't want to know. I don't know. I didn't see. What
So you're gonna just turn your head.
I'm probably gonna leave the restaurant. I'm probably gonna leave the movie.
No, my obligation to my friend was to say something. I did tell him I wasn't going to tell her unless there was another reason for me to tell her. But I have seen too many times the messenger get shot up, head
OJ'd,
impaled, right, dismembered, and excommunicated, all because they thought they were doing the right thing.
You do have to know your personnel. You have to know who you're talking to. So if it's a situation where
it's not sometimes even just that, it's what they're going through. People go through hills and valleys and in different seasons, and their emotions take them places. And sometimes you can just be a casualty of that war. I choose not to be, only if I have to be. Like,
plus, I look at my friend different if I tell them. And then they just sit there and take it.
See, I don't pass judgment the way you do.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
but I would feel some sort of way if you knew that the person I was with, if I was married to or in a relationship.
Well, you're clear with me about that.
So, and you knew.
So
that this
you know
person was
that I'm going to tell you.
Hurting me.
Yeah.
And you sat on it.
Yeah.
I would be mad because if I saw your person doing something, there is no way I wouldn't come back and tell you.
I know. I just keep thinking to myself, like, if you're at somebody's wedding, they're about to have their nuptials. You go to the bathroom and you see the groom kissing a bridesmaid. Do you just go in there, stop the wedding? You probably could or should. I don't know.
Maybe
it's
that's
just
how they get down. It could be part of a bet. All things that I don't need to know, don't want to know. I'm not going to see that. I'm just not getting involved in that.
Yeah.
I understand.
It's a slippery freaking slope.
I know that happens, that the messenger is often shot. I've never had that happen, and it's not ever been my personal experience when people will come back and tell me stuff that, a person I was involved with was doing. So it's never been like, oh, to hell with you. But I did talk to one of my really, really good friends, and she said, if somebody came and told her, she would look at the person that was saying it, like, are you saying it to be destructive, or are you saying it because you love me?
And then you got to do all that qualifying about, it's so much thinking involved in, well, how did she say it? Because somebody is in her ear saying, well, how did she say it? Well, no, break it down to me, and then now she's questioning, your intentions. And
case in point,
effed up
I
all
had
the way
a really
around.
good friend that, I mean, we had done everything together. This was my guy. And we had the conversation. We talked about it. You know, we killed many bottles of whatever we were drinking at that time. Like, man, if you say something, do something, tell me. And I saw it. And I went to him. And I became the bad guy. And I mean, she told him, oh, well, you know, Gary always wanted to get with me. So I really became the bad
that true,
guy.
though?
And no,
Okay.
That was just her
I don't like cheaters.
deflection. You know,
Well, I had to ask.
you don't like yourself.
I had to ask.
No, no,
You hate yourself. I hate
I
myself.
hate that version of me. But no,
Version.
but I mean, I you know, it was a really complicated situation because we were quasi business partners. You know, there was a lot of stuff to unpack there, and it
Yeah.
wasn't. You know, I don't want to use the term breakup because we weren't dating, but it wasn't just an easy like, man, I'm finished with you.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, very complicated, and I'm just not. You know, and she's still with him, probably still with dudes.
You're like, I'm out. I'm not in this. Yeah.
Not my business. And I mean, as I get older, the thing that I protect the most is my peace.
Yeah.
I don't argue. I don't fight.
It's priceless.
It's not my issue. And you know, if anything, I would give the cheater some advice, like, you know, you need to get a little better at this, so I don't see it. You know, keep this away from me. If I were to say anything, which is highly unlikely that I would.
Yeah. Your friend is probably, when that conversation gets back to her, you should be a little better about your cheating. It's not gonna be.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not gonna bode well. Right.
I'm joking at that point, but
You smell good.
Do I?
That's me. That's me.
It's you.
That's me. That's clearly me. No, but no, it is Kim. But it's just not worth it to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't.
I'm kind of like in the middle of both of you. I feel like if it's someone who is close, someone who has occupied all my time with their woes and blows of life, and I've listened, and you know, if I've been that friend to you, I would not expect for you to come after what's mine or what was mine. And even if you decided you wanted to, I certainly would expect for you to have a conversation with me, right? Mm-hmm. What I would not expect is for you not to say anything, try it, and then when you see me, be all up in my grill. Hey, girl, you know, all of that.
That person,
because
they're just letting you know that they were never your friend.
Yeah, ever. Right. Which is always good information. But I do feel like you too, Gary. I
They
feel
were
like
just waiting for their opportunity
to pounce on whatever, on your life. I feel like you, though. I feel like people do deserve a phone call. I feel like people deserve to hear it from you and not the streets. Mm-hmm. That's a big part of it. How the message is delivered to you is like everything to do with how you perceive it.
And the other part of that is that if somebody tells you no, if you make the phone call, like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about doing this, and they say no, you have to honor that. That is guy code too. If you come to a friend,
are you asking for permission, or are you just saying this is where I am and I just wanted you to hear it from me?
I mean, asking for permission makes it seem so juvenile, you know. And
Well, look, you the one who said
giving
people
you-
say
asking
no.
for a blessing,
But
asking for a blessing.
I'm giving you a heads up. I'm
Okay.
giving you an
so
opportunity.
you can hear it from me first,
And I'm
not
giving
on
you
the
an
street.
opportunity to say no. No, I'm giving you an
okay.
opportunity to say no. If you say like, man, dude, that's my, you know, that's my first. That's my. I mean, guys don't talk in those terms.
I'm like, do it?
But no. But
Maybe they do. Let it out.
here's the thing that guys, you know, if guys were gonna say anything, and I'm like actually violating the code by sharing this, but guys would say, "Oh man, she was special," and that's guy code for she ain't the one for you to.
I think I heard that before.
You told us that, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, where did I hear
she's
that?
special. She's special. She's special. So when somebody says that, you know, I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna honor that. I'm leaving it alone.
Okay, so let me change.
So you are asking for a blessing, or you're asking for
I'm giving
You're asking for permission.
I'm giving you a heads up with the opportunity to present any arguments that you might have.
So that you won't be talking to each other through other people in the street.
See, I don't know if
I can.
I don't know. Like, is this for everybody? Everybody in your phone book gets the same level of.
No, I mean
make my decisions for me. Is that is in your
when
hands?
You say it like that, but I mean for the person that I'm close to, and they're probably about probably 10, 20 people that.
So some people get that, and other people get, hey, I just
I'm
wanted you to hear it from me.
Yeah, I'm giving you the heads up. Like, man, I don't want you to,
hear it from anybody else.
What if you had a friend who was telling you, who bent your ear for about a month about a woman that he really was planning on going after, and he was just waiting for the right opportunity? And then she saw you guys, your eyes locked, and you were instantly attracted, and you wanted to date her. And she liked you. She has no designs at all on your friend.
It's still a conversation.
Still a conversation?
Okay. Is there a time frame in this? Just out of curiosity, is this like the three of us were all together, you and I, we just met Gary, and you whispered in my ear, girl, he's cute. And I was like, oh yeah,
why
okay.
do I have to be the girl?
I'm just giving an example. And then he's like,
why do I
and then he's like, the whole time he's like Googling at me. But
right.
Is it?
I just said
I just wonder,
a whole month.
Oh, a month. Okay.
Yeah, a whole month.
Okay.
The whole month, this person is like bending your ear about this woman. You would have a conversation with him. He wouldn't be.
If I know that he felt that level of commitment, yeah, I would have a conversation.
Because there was no relationship with anybody, right?
No.
Somebody just fancied somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah. Had a crush on them or whatever.
But that happens a lot. It
does happen a lot.
There are, that person that they really, really are into that person, but that person is really not into them.
Yeah.
And, man, I know a lot of different people, a lot of different ways. So that conversation may come back to me like, I may even be trying to matchmake. Like, man, what's up with you and my boy? And, hey, I was wondering what's up with me and you.
Yeah.
Let me go make a phone call. Be right back. So, but it's everybody gets the benefit of the doubt. And even if you didn't have necessarily a relationship, then that's still, especially to somebody I'm close to, that's still a phone call.
And I feel like the phone call, hey, this is what's going on, it shows a level of respect, not only for guy code or girl code, but for the person, the situation,
right.
The severed relationships, and you all's future relationships, friends and lovers.
Absolutely.
I feel like all of that is just smoothed over, glossed over, loved on with that phone call.
There's growth in uncomfortable conversations, and you have to be mature enough to have these uncomfortable conversations, because sneaking around at this age is not the move. It's just not. And trying to hide relationships and
how you go into relationships is how they end. You go in on some sneaky shit, it's gonna fall apart on some sneaky shit.
That's right.
It is not going to flourish. It's not going to be fruitful.
I think I told you all the story off camera of the guy who put everybody in protective custody. Right. She's special. She's special. She's
right.
special.
Oh, Lord.
You did something.
And it was, it just had to get to a point where we had to have another uncomfortable, like, bruh.
Everybody's not special.
Your mama,
that means
your sister, your ex-wife, and your baby mama. Everybody else is we putting them all back in the game. Because it ain't going to be nobody left. She's special. She's special too. What about, she's special.
Here's sometimes something that we have to think about. It may not be that the friendships are so very close. It may be that the people that we're talking about are just such popular people that everybody has an opinion about something. So if the situation was with people who nobody really knew, nobody would really care so much. But when it's a popular person or someone who's out in the limelight or big on social media or television or whatever, somebody is going to have something to say, because the separation of observant is a whole nother entity. And I feel like
is a good seat for me because I can put my leg out.
All right, so it says live now. I guess I can just go ahead and end it. We lost connection for such a long time, so we wrapped up without you guys. But anyway, it was a great conversation, and thanks for joining. For a multitude of reasons, but I feel like